The large, tent-like structure undulated in the distance. It pulsed and waved and almost seemed to be alive, like a great red and white monolith breathing in the March breeze, calling to me, drawing me closer. The sign came into view, and I pulled off into the makeshift dirt lot, looming over the entrance as two cracked wooden hands, painted in a sickly ivory yellow, draped underneath the bold lettering, caressing it, pressing it like some macabre gift between friendly strangers. Bony fingers ending in jagged jet-black nails stabbed into the air around it, pointing toward the sky as if to mock creation itself. The circus of suffering, where pain lives. It all came back to me only very recently. Something in a dream, a snapshot of a memory. I remembered rolling down that desolate country road, huddled in the back seat, dozing off with my brother and sister on either side, snoring blissfully through the long trip home. Dad was messing with the radio, only getting static. Moments from sleep, there it had appeared on the horizon. Great and billowy, the red and white pinstripe of the tent flapped around its many poles driven deep into the earth, and I could only imagine what secrets might lie within. "Look, a circus!" I yelled excitedly, rousing my siblings. Dad told me to be quiet, and the huge tent dwindled in the rear-view mirror as we passed it by and continued down the road. I watched it intently as it gradually grew smaller, and then, suddenly, it slowly fizzled away. Top to bottom, the big top disappeared as if transported somewhere else by some miraculous unknown means. "It's gone! It's gone!" We turned a corner and the road went out of view. And a few hours later we were home, and I was grounded for waking my sister in the car, who cried the rest of the way home. Which really meant annoying my father, a grumpy bastard if there ever was one. Nobody ever acknowledged the circus. Dad told me I was dreaming, but I know I saw it. As I grew older, however, I forgot all about it, that big top tent rising from the earth, just off the long road, there one moment and gone the next. As I grew older, much later, I began to see it at night. Every night, as I slept. The dreams were always the same. The countryside was in darkness, and all was completely black. I only knew that I was in the car, nestled in the back seat alone while my dad drove on silently up front. That's when I'd noticed there was no sound. As if there wasn't any road beneath us, and no engine moving us forward. And then the music would begin to emanate in the distance, warm and inviting, asking me to come see a show, without words. I'd push my face up against the window, and watch the miasmic light radiating from the enticing music. Then, the tent. It towered, twisting into the air as far as I could see, with its round base extending impossibly deep into the darkness behind the searing skylights which punched through the fog like walls of white glass. I'd whisper to my dad, putting my hand on his shoulder, "Can we go?" Then it would just be me, standing in the pitch blackness facing the big top. So I ran. I always ran, because I knew it was behind me, tearing through the grass in pursuit. It snarled and pounded with lumbering footfalls that were so clear, even through the music that was growing louder and louder because I was getting closer and closer. I sprinted into the light, gasping for air like I was on the moon, tumbling onto a rainbow valley of broken glass that stung as it dug into me. I was compelled to look up at the sign overhead, ignoring my profusely bleeding hands and bare feet. Where pain lives. Two huge, splintering white hands would come down and stab into me and raise me up high above the tent and into the air, where I'd fall into the red and white glowing stripes beneath, and it would consume me in its warm, gelatinous mass, and I would become one with it. I became one with the circus, every time. One day, when I awoke all sweaty and aching, it's as if I just knew where to go. Innately knew. Like a thin branding iron marked with the ethereal coordinates had scorched itself into the deepest recesses of my brain, inviting me to come see a show unlike any other. Locking the car and pocketing the keys, I gazed at the green-brown nothingness for miles around in every other direction, and I felt alone, like I'd never been before. I may as well have been in space. The air felt fresh, and it was tinged with something bittersweet that I couldn't quite recognize, an alluring aroma of burnt popcorn, except meaty somehow. I began to make my way towards the tent opening, into its dark, gaping maw. Whatever was waiting for me inside, it was hungry. But so was I.